Sexy people, Taylor Sparks here, Mariposa Aki, and welcome to Ask a Sex Goddess. Well, we may not be asking too many questions, but there are a few questions that people want answered, so I thought I might just come together, hey honey, and answer them all at one kind of go. How you guys doing tonight? Where is everybody? It is, as you know, I'm in Cancun and it is hot here. Oh my gosh, it's been like 89 every day and humid, kind of just like Florida when I was living in Miami. But you just sweat all the time. But at least it keeps your skin moist, you know. I'm very moist. But yeah, so as you guys know, my book is out. It's shipping, an African American Guide to Ethical Non-Monogamy, and I'm getting some questions, you know, not only about the book, but just, you know, I get these, you know, what I call frequently asked questions about ethical non-monogamy, you know, like how would you, why would you, where would you, with whom would you, kind of thing. So I thought I might want to answer some of those. And of course, the question that I get asked a lot is, how long have you been in the lifestyle? How'd you get in the lifestyle? Which is a very, you know, and of course there's more than one lifestyle. Usually when people say lifestyle, they're referring to the swinger community. But you have open relationship lifestyle, swinging relationship lifestyle, and then of course you have polygamy, polygyny, polyandry, and of course polyamory. So what lifestyle? Ooh, K-Motions, you're in Dallas. Hot and humid too there, huh? Yeah. And you guys, at least I have a little ocean nearby down here in Cancun. You guys are just in the middle and just hot 360 all the way around. But I'll be in Houston first week in August for the Splash Takeover. So if you guys are into lifestyle takeover events, that's going to be a really nice event. Houston, I think it starts on the 3rd. And it should be on my site, on the Organic Loving site as well. But one of the questions I get about, it's dry, yeah. One of the questions I get about the lifestyle is like, you know, how long you been in? And I thought I might just let a few people know. And even the reason why I even wrote the book, because I have been open, swinging, poly, kinky. I don't like labels, so I take them all for like 15 years now. My husband and I were married 12 years when we opened our relationship, and we kind of did the open thing, mostly because we had went to Hito and met some swingers. We were like, we don't want to do that. we didn't want to do that. So unlike a lot of people who swing, who do everything together, we were open, so we did everything separate. For like the first year, we did absolutely everything separate. And he was like, not only do I not want to see you with another man, I don't want to hear you with another man. No one should be able to make you make those sounds but me, which was, you know, after you finally kind of get through some things, you realize you don't make the same sounds with the same people. So, but that's kind of how we started. And then we kind of backed into the swinging. And I found myself looking for answers because I would go to events like at Hito. There used to be something there called the Black Swingers Festival. Every year, my good friend Phoenix Daniels and her partner would host this. They produce this event every year. And it was like almost a full takeover of just all Black swingers. And there was a Black swingers site that had thousands and thousands of members. Now there isn't. I don't think there are any. But we started hanging out and going to the events. And I just found myself asking a lot of questions. And the questions are, you know, why are you doing this? And as time went on, because I'm just, you know, I was looking for books, but all the books were written by white folks, which is not a bad thing because at the end of the day, you know, we're all kind of doing the same. We're all kind of wanting and doing the same thing. But, you know, us, you know, our people, we kind of have a different take on it. As Black Americans, I would see at the parties, like at Hito, there'd be a pool party, and everybody would be having a good time and getting a little freaky, and then the white folks would just go all out. They just would be all in, you know. But the black folks would be like, you know, hey, take this shit to the room. They were more, it's not even conservative, is not the word. We just are not just out there like that. Now, if it's just us and not a mixed crowd, yeah, I mean, there's some that are, but I found that kind of fascinating. And as I traveled to different states, to different parties with different black folks, you know, we just, you know, we swing a little, just a little, you know, we put our, you know, we put our own groove on everything, and that includes swinging too. And so, but there was no books written by anybody of color. You know, there were people who recommend like the Ethical Slut. And by the time I started reading the Ethical Slut, I was beyond whatever she was talking about. And slut was not a descriptive word for me. And you go sometimes to the swinger events and the women are wearing slut collar or whore or bitch. And I just didn't resonate with any of that. Not yucking on anybody else's yum. I'm like, yeah, I'm not your slut. And no, I'm not your bad girl either. So we ended up starting to produce our own events at Desire in Cabo, Desire in here in Cancun. We partnered and collaborated with Luxury Lifestyle Vacation, who I'm still working and collaborating with. I mean, it is their reasoning that and their support that I even started my organiclovin.com business. And so we had some great experiences in the lifestyle, you know, so we were open first. We did that for about a year and a half. And then we met this great couple who kind of reeled us in. And then we kind of started swinging. But fortunately, because we did everything separate, and mind you, we had our list of boundaries, like a long list. I mean, there was things like you couldn't have sex with anybody in the whole state of North Carolina. Like the whole state was off limits. Like you couldn't just go to Charlotte 3 hours away. No, the whole state. I don't know why we made this up. The whole state was off limits. If you did something with someone, you had a time limit, like no more than an hour. Don't know why we had the time limit of no more than an hour. And then there were some common things like, you know, no spending the night. We didn't do the kissing thing because we both like to kiss, so we didn't do that thing. But no spending the night, no one in the whole state of North Carolina, no in-laws, you know, cousins, family members, no hotel staff because we didn't want to get anybody in trouble and they lose their job. And the time limit. And, well, of course, condoms, safe sex, you know, all the time. And always knew where each other was. But by the time we were 15 years in, I think our only boundaries were like no children and no animals. Because you discover that, you know, people are, you know, you get this concern that you want to protect your relationship, which is why you put up a lot of the boundaries in the first place. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But as you migrate through and you meet other people, especially if you're only dealing with couples, you start to realize ain't nobody going nowhere. And nobody can steal somebody that doesn't want to go. And you can't make someone stay that's ready to leave. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. So this worrying like someone's going to steal my partner or they may fall in love and leave, that could happen if they work at IBM. They could fall in love with a coworker or someone that shares a parking lot from another building. So it's not the relationship type or style, love style, that is going to threaten your relationship, you see. That, because if people are going, they're going to go anyway. So we started producing our own events and collaborating with Pepe and Claudia and doing events. And then we just started traveling around the world. So my initial thought more than 10 years ago was to write the book, An African American Guide to Swinging, because there was no book on swinging just for us and how we, you know, put our own stank on it. But I just started working, and then I launched Organic Lovin', and I have been, in the last 15 years, I've been to 26 or 25 countries, all on swinger events, private charter cruises, anywhere from 4,000 people to small, intimate ones with only like 120 people. Very high end, very luxurious. But I've met Black people and Black Latinas and Afro Latinas and Black Mexicans and Colombianas and who are in the lifestyle, and the gorgeous Black brothers over in Paris and in the south of France at Captage, and our groove is just different. So from that day to this day, no one still has written a book on African Americans regarding swinging. So where do people go for their questions? Well, a lot of us end up in groups, in social media. Hey guys, how are you? Hey Lorenzo. A lot of us end up in groups. There's groups for swingers, there's lifestyle groups, but you will, if you've been in and if you're looking for information, there's a lot of disjointed information, if you will, because you get somebody that has met somebody, and it is not to say that it's right or wrong, because you're going to swing the way that you swing, right? And you're going to poly the way that you're going to poly. But it's just different. And I was looking for something with a foundation of these are the basics. And over my 15 years of being ethically non-monogamous, I discovered that there is a foundation for each of the love styles. I was about 7 years into swinging, if you will, when I was introduced to polyamory and kink by a couple. And I'm the girl that just falls in, like the kid that's at the end of the pool and throws their arm out and then just poof, falls in the deep end all at one time. I'm that girl. I'm like, oh my God, it just sounded like perfect. I could have a boyfriend or maybe 2 or 3. And I wanted a dom. Then I realized I am dominant. I made the mistake of texting my husband and saying, I met this couple. I'm in love. We're going to be poly. Don't do that. I was like 800 miles away from home. Don't do that. That is not how you introduce or open up the discussion to opening your relationship with your partner. You don't want to do it over text. And in the book, I actually give you, kind of some guidelines on how to open up this conversation with your partner about opening the relationship, whether it's open, swinging, poly, which polygamy, polygyny, whichever way that you think love style works best for you. And I spent the weekend with this couple, and they did some things to me that I think might have been illegal in about 3 states, but it was a good time. But I just wanted to know everything that there was about polyamory. And then I did find some books, right? One of the most popular books, More Than Two by Franklin Veaux, I believe it's pronounced, I think it's French. Then there's a book, When Someone You Love Is Polyamorous. Right now, I think it's Polysecure. That's a book. There's a lot of books on poly. But again, no one of color that I have run against yet or met yet had written a book for us and by us. Kevin Patterson's book, though, Love Is Not Colorblind, I look up that I did interview him on my Sisters of Sexuality podcast. Amazing brother. His take was a little bit about the interracial things that we run into in the polyamorous community when it comes to going out and meeting people and us not feeling welcome sometime. Not purposely racist, but sometimes white folks just don't think about us because they don't have to, So his book was really, really good about navigating the polyamorous community as a person of color. And so it was a really good interview with him. He's been polyamorous and he's a great guy. I interviewed Ron Young as well, who's the founder of Black and Poly, blackandpoly.org. And just knowing his background and his story. So again, just if you're looking for information on how to be polyamorous, there's lots of groups out there, but you're going to find a lot of disjointed information. Not right, not wrong, just different. And so from my own experience, my own teachings, traveling around the world, teaching on cruises, being in this community for all of this time, again, I found a foundation that was a thread that ran through all of these different love styles. And although people might swing a little different, might be open a little different, and might even poly a little different, because even if you look at polyamory or polygamy, looking at like the Porter family, right? So one husband, two wives. He is legally married to one. So they are polygynous. But again, the two women do have the right, if they wanted to, date others, which would, or at least have that discussion be open, which would then make them polyamorous, right? Because in polygyny, you have one husband and two wives. So if you just have two girlfriends and you're not legally married to one, you are polyamorous, if that makes sense. So then you have Coach Nazir, outstanding personal relationships with his two wives, Coach Fatima and I can't remember his other wife's name. They are Muslim. So, and a lot of times, sometimes polygynous relationships are religious based. Theirs is religious based. So that, knowing these differences and knowing how they function, it was important to put it down someplace where those of us of color who were looking could at least find a foundation of the differences between open and swinging, the differences between polygyny and polyandry and polyamory. And I wanted to do that. But the most important thing about why I decided to do this was because I wanted more information out there about the history of African American marriages. And a lot of us, we know about slavery. We know the black women were raped. We know the black men might have been raped and beaten. But there's a book, and I interviewed Professor Diane Stewart. Her book, Black Women, Black Love, America's War on black marriages, is so in-depth about what we went through in this country, and how our marriages and our love was just torn apart. And a lot of us were polyamorous because they were breeding us. So I talk about that. I give actual accounts, which is with permission from them to use from the Library of Congress, the history and actual stories from the slave narratives about what happened to some of us in our relationships. So that will explain why, looking at behavioral epigenetics, while some of us are more leaning towards non-monogamous relationships, because epigenetically, our ancestors were this way. And so I wanted us to know that, there's nothing wrong with wanting to live and love that way. And you might have this strong desire to live an ethically non-monogamous relationship because your great-great-great-great-granddaddy and your great-great-great-great-grandmother were polyamorous or polygynous. You just didn't know. But that feeling of being able to love more than one person has been passed down to you genetically. So I explain that and how that functions in the book, and give some examples as well. So book is done, the book is out, and I'm excited for you guys to get a copy. There's links in my bio. You can get it on all the, Amazon and, Barnes and Nobles, or you can get it directly from me, because Jeff Bezos don't really need your money. Jeff don't need your money, but you can buy it directly on my site as well, on organiclovin.com, LOVEN.com. And so because the book is a guide, there's only so much information that's in there. And some of you guys may still have questions. Some of you might be, looking to possibly open your relationship. And I also talk about being single in like the swinger community, or being, single, being polyamorous, and how you might be able to navigate that. So what I've done is I'm launching on the 29th of this month, the series. It's a 6-week series based on the book, An African American Guide to Ethical Non-Monogamy, so that you can come in and get more of your answers, or more of your questions answered. It'll be in a group setting. There may be people there of different varying levels of ethical non-monogamy. But if I had tried to put every answer to every question in the book would be 792 pages, I swear, because it's a lot, So this just is a guide. So I wanted to be able to have you, let's get together once a week for 6 weeks. Let's cover it all. Let's cover consent, the difference between privacy and secrecy, how to set boundaries, how to communicate in ethical non-monogamy, because it is different. It is not just regular old communication. And if you're, monogamous or monogamish, you're curious about ethical non-monogamy and the differences, or better still, just being able to go through this 6-week course or series, if you will. If you're monogamish, there's a lot monogamish couples can learn from ethical non-monogamy, because, like, for example, having open and honest communication. Monogamous people say that they're open and honest, but not like in ethical non-monogamy, because in monogamy, you can just kind of keep shit to yourself and just be married for the next 30, 40, 50 years and never breathe a word to your partner. Open and honest communication in ethical non-monogamy is the foundation. Like, this is it. The shit starts here. And you want to be able to safely say to your partner, I saw so-and-so and so-and-so today. Hi, Queen Melody. Hey, Cindy. Hey, Stephen. And I thought that they were the most gorgeous, sexiest thing I've ever saw, without feeling like, you're being set up for a divorce. You want to be able to have a level of transparency about any and everything. And that happens in ethical non-monogamy. So learning how to have that level of communication is something you will learn by taking the series. Individual autonomy is also something that's very important in ethical non-monogamy. And in monogamy, it's not. So in the way monogamy is set up today, your partner is your everything, right? They complete you. So in monogamy, a lot of times, your partner is, your confidant, your bid whiz partner, your travel partner, your salsa partner, your financial partner, your co-parenting partner. You got to, your workout partner. It's every, they are like everything. Hey, whip appeal. And it's in ethical non-monogamy, we pride ourselves in still being autonomous, still being an individual who met up with another individual and decided to have a relationship together. We maintain our own personal hobbies. We have friends that we have shared passions with. We may not even have sex with them, and they could possibly be of the opposite sex without it being a threat to the relationship. So learning how to navigate that from, within monogamy will make your relationship so much stronger. Emotional honesty and jealousy management. In ethical non-monogamy, we realize that we are emotional beings. And just because you have an emotion doesn't mean you have to act upon it right then and there. And we give ourselves space to be vulnerable. We give ourselves space to learn how to manage our emotions in a healthy way. In monogamy, you see it in the movies all the time. If somebody's jealous, they're throwing shit and they're threatening divorce and take the kids. And because, your man, liked, 12 pictures of some chick he didn't even fucking know on IG. There was some woman recently on the plane, somebody filmed her screaming at her husband, I think because he smiled at the flight attendant or something. We all have the ability to manage our emotions. We just choose not to. Just like we can manage the words that come out of our mouths. We just choose not to. So we take the opportunity to sit down with our partners when we're having a strong emotion and go, this is what I'm feeling. I need to be able to get a handle on this so I don't keep feeling this way. So if you're monogamous and you're having issues with insecurity and or jealousy, taking this series can help you get beyond that. Another thing monogamous people can learn, relationship customization, I call it. There's a book called Designer Relationships, which is really, as I said, there's no right or wrong way. I'm not saying that monogamy is wrong and non-monogamy is right or vice versa. It's a matter of different. In ethical non-monogamy, we get to customize the relationship the way that we want it. I have met couples throughout this world that are just doing their thing, and that might not be my thing. But, like sometimes I've seen couples where one partner is an extreme extrovert and the other partner is an extreme introvert. Opposites attract, right? And then they attack. But no one is trying to make the other person feel bad for not being that way. So I've seen the extrovert just, rolling around the ship and talking to everybody, and the introvert sitting at one table like, I can still see her or him. They're fine. And they're not trying to make them sit down and be quiet. And the other person's not trying to make their partner get up and, come dance. They dance with the other extroverts out there on the pool deck. And everybody's good. I've met couples where both partners don't play. They were monogamous swingers. And this happened where I met the husband did not play with anybody. He only had sex with his wife. And his wife had sex with whomever she wanted, as many men as she wanted. And he was like, I have no desire to have sex with no one other than my wife. But I'm totally fine with her having sex with whoever she wants. We have our boundaries and she stays in those boundaries. She's happy. I'm happy. But I know some people in monogamy where, if the wife go to bed at 10 o'clock, she want her husband to go to bed at 10 o'clock. I'm like, why? Why you got to go to bed when you go to bed? Maybe he wants to sit up and watch the game or go hang out and have a cigar with the fellas. That has never been a challenge for me because you can customize your relationship. You want it to be in the way that you and your partner are like, this is for us. I have a couple I know that's monogamous, and I would call and be like, hey, where's your wife? And he'd be like, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? I don't know. She left the house about 5 o'clock. She ain't back yet. Like, well, where did she go? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, she didn't tell you where she went? No, because it wasn't a requirement. She was like, I'm leaving. And she'd walk out the door and he'd be like, I'm leaving. Not when I'll be back. I'm like, well, what if she turns up someplace harmed? Lord forbid. I said, they're going to come for you. You're the last one that saw her alive. He was like, and they've been like that. They've been married 20-something years. They just walk out the door. In my house, I need to know where you're going, where you're coming back. I tell the kids, I need to know where you are. But they never, and they're monogamous. So, and even the first 12 years of my marriage, when we first got married in our early 30s, I'm like, and we weren't thinking about being open or anything. I never had a time limit on when my husband could come home. I'm like, I don't care. My only request was, could you come home before the sun comes up? If you have any extra time, energy, or money, do whatever you want to do. But if you bring me so much as a common cold in this house, I'm going to kill you in your sleep. But have fun. You have fun. So, hey, Copyright Brown, how are you? Hello, Miss Kim B. Hi, Lock These On. Only you for me. Hi, everybody. So I'm just kind of talking about how I got into the lifestyle and why I wrote the book, and now why I'm doing this series. Another thing that monogamous couples could, and this is my believe that they can learn from ethical non-monogamy, of course, is shared responsibility I wrote it down. Shared responsibility for personal fulfillment. So, knowing that you cannot make your partner happy, right? Because happiness is an inside job. It's an inside job. You can only create a happy environment if you're nesting or living together. You can create a happy environment around the relationship, but happiness is an inside job. You cannot make your partner happy. So having this shared responsibility for personal fulfillment means that you're going to say to your partner, okay, listen, I don't salsa dance. I have no fucking desire to go salsa dancing. So I think you should find someone that wants to go salsa dancing with you. You should not have to sit here with me for the next 20-something years of our lives because I don't want to salsa dance. You want to dance? Go dance. Find someone to go dance with. So you encourage your partner to do the things that's fulfilling for them, because no one person is going to be able to help to fulfill all of your needs. Not only is it almost impossible, right? When you release that thought and release that pressure, it releases the pressure off of your partner trying to fulfill all of your needs. Maybe one partner likes to travel, the other partner doesn't travel. I'm like, listen, you need some money? You have your passport? I see you when you get back. I'm going to sit here and, go get my nails done and chill out, and you have a good time fishing with the fellas. It's okay to be, to encourage your partner to do the things that they enjoy doing without you. I used to do girlfriend getaways, and some of the women I would invite, I heard more than one woman say, my man's not going to allow me to go on no vacation without him. I'm like, but you're not attached to the hip. Why can you not go on vacation? I mean, if it's like a money thing, that's different, but why can you not go on vacation with the girls without your partner? Like, what are you going to do that you can't do right in your own neighborhood, or not neighborhood, but, it's a level of trust and insecurity. And some of us perpetuate that insecurity by going along with our partner's insecure emotions instead of sitting down saying, why do you feel this way? Where, what is this coming from? Is it something that I've done or am doing that's making you feel insecure that I can't do X, Y, and Z without you? Don't avoid these conversations. Have these conversations with your partner when they have an emotion that's making them feel insecure, threatened, jealous. Don't avoid it. I always say, use your words. Use your words. So that's kind of why I did the book, and even more importantly, why I'm doing this series. And if you register for the series by Sunday, I think I put on here by tomorrow, but if you register by Sunday, I'm taking 40% off of the cost of the series. It's going to be about an hour and a half, Thursday nights at 8. We'll meet via Zoom. You could, come on anonymously. You can come on and show your face. Be totally up to you. But I encourage you that if you have questions or more questions about ethical non-monogamy in the various ways that it is practiced, the book is one source. And then the series is another, because we're going to, get with the book. And if you haven't gotten the book, and when you register, I've got some great bonuses, which is, of course, the 40% off is an amazing bonus, because now you can bring your partner. It's almost like one of you's coming for free. You will get a personalized copy of the book. There's a couple of the bonuses I put there. So I did some of you that were on here might have been a part of the assessment that I used to help compile and get some of the information. The assessment, I got like 119 responses. which was good. And there was like 40 something questions about, why people got involved, what love style that they chose, were they partnered, are they still partnered, are they out, are they closeted, how they're handling communication, how they're handling jealousy. So there's a wealth of information just in the assessment. And like I said, the book just would have got too long if I had to try to put all that in. So I'm doing this complimentary supplement, if you will, to the book, which will have, for those of you who like data, will have the questions and all of the people's responses. And there's a lot of information in there about how other people decided, how they got in. Because, that's been my thing. Every time I meet a couple or an individual, I'm like, how did you get into the lifestyle? What did you do in the lifestyle? Are you enjoying it? Were you always swinging? Were you open? Or did you decide to, hey, Parrish? Or did you decide to, do something else? So it is just a lot of answers to the questions that I was asking these people who identified as either open, swinging, polyamorous, polygynous, polyandry, and how they kind of came about. There are no names. There are no initials. It is 100% anonymous. And so all those 119 respondents, I think about 6 people did not want to be included in it at all. So it'll be a little less, but there is a wealth of information in there. And if you like data and you want to know why people did what they did, you will get a copy of the supplement when you sign up and register for this series. So that's pretty much my story, and I'm sticking to it. Parrish, I'm gonna end this live, and I'll either come over to you or I'll start a new one if you want to join me. I would love to have you. And but yeah, so if anyone has any questions, I'm going to stop this one and then I'm going to come back because I wanted this one to kind of be short and concise for you guys so I can just tell you about this great new series. So thank you so much for listening in, and I'll be back shortly. And the link is in the bio to register for an African American Guide to Ethical Non-Monogamy, the series. Come join me. It's not only going to be fun, it's going to get a lot of your questions answered. And if you know someone who's either transitioning in or through, or just really has a lot of questions about ethical non-monogamy, this is a series for them. Plus, you get 40% off if you register by Sunday. Don't let it pass. I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much for joining me. Ciao.